One.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, welcome to the Orlando Pirates versus Cape Town City post-match press conference. We are joined by the away coach, Coach Eric Tinkler. Welcome, Coach. Coach, if you may, just please give us a brief summary of the match from your perspective.
Oh, a difficult one. To be honest, I thought today we weren't very, very good at all. I think collectively we underperformed in this game. In our plan and our strategy, we knew that we were going to look to build up with the back three, and the importance of obviously looking to try and block the pass out wide to either Hotta or to Shandu. But we didn't apply that pressing strategy correctly. And first 15, 20 minutes, we were always late to every challenge. And they found it very, very easily to play through us and create certain difficult situations for us in the final third. So I wasn't obviously happy with that, and I changed the formation again in terms of our pressing strategy. That seemed to work slightly better, but still a lot of spaces in between the lines, still allowing players to receive and turn, being very, very reactive defensively. And again, like I said, having to soak up a lot of pressure. So yeah, the last 15 minutes of that first half, we changed the formation completely. And I thought we got back into the game the last 15 minutes of the first half, where we created two chances, one with Tassi from a corner that nearly went under Sia's body, and then the shot from Nodada that Sia made a very good save. So I thought we finished the half a little bit better, and I expected a lot more from the team in the second half. Second half again, build-up phase, we looked nervous. We looked like we didn't really want to play through the phases. We started playing the balls long into Tassi. We weren't there to collect the second balls, and again we had to soak up a lot of pressure. But it was only pressure. Hugo Marks had to make one or two saves, but nothing that was a major threat. I thought there were one or two blocks that we had to do. So defensively, well structured, well organized. But what we were offering ourselves in attack was very little. I don't think Sia had to make a save in the second half. We had one or two corners that caused them one or two problems. But offensively, we were very, very poor this evening. But collectively, I think it was a collective problem. I can't single out any individual. I have to single out everyone. So yeah, slightly disappointed and take the point and run, I guess.
Good evening, Coach Eric, and good evening to all my colleagues as well. Coach, I think you are quite honest, as you always are, in terms of your overview of the game. A bit flat tonight. What is the main reason? Why was Cape Town City a bit flat? And secondly, Coach, Khanyisa Mayo, over the last couple of weeks, he's been a bit of a revelation. How far is he from starting a football match from the onset? Thank you.
Yeah, I think, we possibly came into this game with a little bit too much pressure, and the players felt that pressure. When I say pressure, winning 3 points tonight potentially could have taken us third in the league. And I think a lot of emphasis has been obviously put on that over the past week. I tried to take that pressure off the players prior to the game, saying to them that, important for us to keep a clean sheet. Let's go out there and express ourselves. Let's not be afraid to play. Let's not be afraid to lose, because if we lose, it's not the end of the world. We have 3 home games coming up that we can always redeem ourselves. But I think they felt that, and collectively that pressure might have told its own story. In terms of Mayo, Mayo, for me, as a striker, I think he gives us a lot more options. He just needs to get a little bit stronger, and he needs to be able to hold the ball up a little bit better. You're correct in saying he scored 2 goals in the previous 2 games, one against Royal AM, and that was in open play, but he was playing as a winger. He wasn't playing as a striker. We brought in Darwin now, and that game, he was a makeshift winger. But now Darwin Gonzalez has obviously got his work permit, so he's the natural winger for us. And his other goal came from a set piece where again, that was an opportunity for him to come on and play as a striker. And I think, slowly but surely his confidence is growing. He's getting a lot better at playing that role. For a couple of years, he was playing more in a wide position, especially at Richards Bay. But I think where he's most effective is obviously as a striker. But there are certain areas of his game that we're obviously looking for him to improve. But he'll get there because he's a hard-working player. He doesn't drop his head. He keeps working hard in training, and I'm sure he'll just grow and get stronger and stronger.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
On the result. The stature of the Soweto derby and whether it still holds a prime place in South African football since you last coached Orlando Pirates. Is it still as big of a fixture according to you? Thanks.
When you got a full stadium, yes. I think by now we should have been opening up the stadiums a little bit more than what we have. The derby, what's always made the derby special is that you got 89,000 mad Pirates and Chiefs fans, and that's what makes it, the atmosphere, the vibe. You can't replicate that, unfortunately. DSTV can't replicate that. We can invent a crowd, but it's not the same. So I think the sooner we can get the stadiums open again and get back to watching what was always a fantastic football match, the sooner the better.
Thanks, Coach.
Hi, Coach. Zara Adams here from IOL. Phillies play the ball at the back there. Can you just tell us what goes through your mind when they do it that quite often and get close?
Yeah, obviously, it's stressful. Sometimes it's very, very stressful. But if you watch the modern game, a lot of time possession, the longer you have the ball, the less opportunity the opposition has of scoring against you. And it's something we obviously work at training in terms of our build-up play, look to play through the phases. Can we get the ball from our build-up into our creation phase as quick as possible? And you rightfully say that tonight we struggled with that and we took a lot of risk that nearly and nearly punished us, So players only human, they are your principles, So our principles are we are a footballing team, we are a team that wants to play out from the back. And I just felt in the second half, I don't know, we didn't do that. We stopped doing it. Second half, we kept going long, and that was a bit disappointing for me because if you are going to go long, you got to be looking to come and collect the second balls, and we didn't do that.
Thanks, Coach.
Can I go? Okay, Coach. You spoke about your pressing style. Can you please explain to us what your initial thoughts was in terms of the first style you used to press? Because obviously it wasn't working.
Yeah, the way we finished when we played them in the first round, the way they play now is exactly the way they played then. Funny that when I played them the last time, I started with a back three. and that didn't work. So we changed it at halftime and we went to a back four. And our pressing strategy was a 4-3-3 in terms of front three looking to press the three centre backs and try and prevent the pass going out to the fullbacks because they are the spare men. And when we did that in the first game at Cape Town Stadium, we put them under immense pressure and we managed to create a number of chances against them by doing that. And our second half performance in that match was very, very good. So obviously that's what we focused on in training and video analysis. And what we focused on training was looking to press in that formation. But I never put all my eggs in one basket. I always look to both those plans in place today. So the 4-3-3 pressing didn't work, so we changed it back to a 4-4-2. That was also not working, and then we ended up going back to a 3-5-2 strategy. And then I felt we dealt with them a lot better.
Thank you, Ostandi. Coach, generally from where you are and what you've achieved this season, would I be putting you under immense pressure, saying that maybe Cape Town City have underperformed a bit, and is it also, in terms of the outgoings that the club suffered in the general transfer window? Just your assessment of the season thus far. Thank you.
Obviously, disappointment of losing the MTN 8 final. I think we deserve to be in that final. I think we deserve to win the final, if I must be honest, especially after penalties. In terms of our league, it's been up and down. Yes, you're correct in terms of us having lost 7 key players. I'm going to put it, a bit of a cleanup, a little bit of new faces, some new faces come in. A little bit more aspiration from the players wanting to achieve things and win things, and hence what we done. We started looking to bring in new faces. Certain players have moved on to better their careers, and we obviously grateful for what they contributed obviously to the club, and we're happy for them because they bettered their lives, and we can't stand in their way. But yeah, sometimes when you bring in 7 or 6, we brought in 6 new faces, it takes a little bit of time to adapt. But I'm definitely convinced that what we've brought in is more than good enough in terms of its quality. And our aspirations and our goals haven't changed. We're still looking to finish in that top 8. Like I said before, with a win today, we could have found ourselves laying 4th already, so we're not far off. We're not far off. So right now, you could be someone like you that says the glass is half empty. I believe the glass is half full.
Joshua, are you still interested in the final question?
Final question, Coach. I saw you subbed Mbina at halftime. What was your thinking behind removing him from the team so abruptly?
Possibly I put a lot of pressure on the boy. He's young, he's 20. His debut game, Orlando Pirates, away at Orlando Stadium, and I thought he struggled. He got better towards the end of the first half, but I thought he struggled. And I thought, he started dropping his head because he was making a number of mistakes. And I thought we needed to make that change in the midfield so that we could look to try and retain a little bit of the ball. Hence the fact I brought on Mokowane, KG, just to see if we could look to try and retain possession a little bit longer. But I know the quality that Mbina has. He'll play the next game, that I can guarantee you, because of the qualities that I know he has. And possibly I must take it on the chin, having thrown him in into such a big match such as this against Orlando Pirates.
Thank you, Coach Tinkler. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, we'll be back shortly with the Orlando Pirates coach. Thank you for your time and participation. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, we're back with the Orlando Pirates coach, Coach Mandla Ncikazi. Coach, playing a draw at home against Cape Town City. Just your thoughts on the match, please.
You always feel sad when the team performs the way they performed. You feel for the players. I thought it was a dominant performance from our team. Created the chances, especially first half. Even second half, where I thought we were not as sharp as the first half, but we still created good chances. I understand again that we just played 2 days ago, and it would have shown like it showed the second half. But one thing that was missing in all the performance was just the goal, and the team deserved better. But I can't blame the players for the performance today. We just totally dominated the match, created the chances, but the ball just did not go into the net.
Good evening, Coach. I hope you are unlucky on the result. Coach, I mean, Tembinkosi Lodge as well as Happy I think Lodge maybe rested as well as the captain. Is it in anticipation of Saturday? And would I be wrong by saying that key players start the game and then take them off? Just your thoughts on you starting, well, Lodge not starting and not being in the 18. And secondly, Coach, how far is Tseho Fatomabasa being, on the bench for Orlando Pirates? Because I think prior to him not being the past couple of weeks in the midday squad, he's been doing relatively well. Main reason why he's not playing for Pirates at the club at the moment? Thank you.
Lodge had an injury yesterday. He was in the team in the last preparation. He had a muscle strain, which is why we couldn't take him along. We hope from our medical team to get the feedback whether he'll be ready or not ready. But currently, we're not sure. With Happy, it's just management. With Happy contributing so well as a leader in the team. But again, we still have to manage him. He played so many games. We played the full match when we played in Nelspruit. And for him to play again today and play on the weekend. So it's just management with Happy. Zumabasa is okay. It's just the competition, like it is. I said before, Pirates have got 6, 7 good strikers. It's just competition. He's training well, and I'm hoping that he'll get his opportunity soon.
Thank you, Sister Tandy. Evening, Coach. Evening, colleagues. Coach, how do you view this result ahead of the derby? Is it 2 points dropped or 1 point gained? Thank you.
Definitely 2 points dropped, but when you look at us having played on Sunday, drive from Nelspruit back to Johannesburg, prepare one day, and then you play today, and still perform the way we performed. I thought the dominance just deserved a result. We more than just dominating possession. I also thought we created the better chances. Sometimes I thought there were tap-ins, but the ball couldn't go into the net. So getting to your question, I think it's 2 points dropped. But let's go into the next match with the right mentality and then take it from there.
Thank you, outstanding, and thank you, colleagues. Coach,
Okay, please wait for your turn. I've asked Tashreef to take the next question. And it's Tashreef, please ask.
Thanks, Sandy. Hi, Coach. Tough luck on the result. Looking towards Saturday's big match, does the Soweto derby still hold a big stature in South African football, given the current state of the league and what has happened in the past few seasons with Mamelodi Sundowns dominating the league?
My brother, can you repeat the question? I did not pick the question correctly.
Sorry,
Yes.
I'd like to know from your perspective, does the Soweto derby still hold a huge stature in South African football, given the recent times where the likes of Mamelodi Sundowns just dominating the league in most recent years? Thanks.
I think you can't take away the strength of Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs. I don't think the derby has lost anything except to say that there's no supporters. The supporters have got a big role to play in such matches, and I think the only thing that's missing is the supporters. And you must also see that COVID has really affected big teams than smaller teams. Smaller teams enjoy playing in empty stadiums because they are used to that, but bigger teams find it a challenge, and I think Pirates to an extent has been affected by that. So if you're asking me about the derby, Kaizer Chiefs again being the big team with the big support, I thought they have been affected. I think that's the only thing missing, and it also affects the quality of the game that is displayed on the day.
Thank you, Sistandi. Coach?
Hello, Coach. Lorenzo from Midoski Times. I just want to ask you something that you said. You mentioned that you guys have seven quality strikers at the club. But at the present, only 18 goals in 21 games. Obviously, it's difficult. Rotating especially with so many fixtures piling up. But what is going wrong for Orlando Pirates with so much quality in midfield, in attack, that there's just this.
I think the Achilles tendon, the Achilles of our team is the fact that a lot of players just came back. If you look at the strikers that I'm talking about, the others where Lipasa was injured, he has been out, Gaba has been out for whatever reason. So how they came back, we only have all of them now, but how they trained, injuries and other reasons have caused that they are not at the same level of fitness. So while we're choosing, but there's also other things to manage, issues like that from injuries. So I acknowledge that we haven't scored as much as we want, but again, scoring does not only depend on the strikers, it depends on a lot of factors. For the amount of dominance and matches that we have dominated possession, I think our final third has not been the best. Whether you score through strikers, whether you score through midfielders, but yes, I acknowledge we haven't scored frequently as we want, especially with the dominance of possession that we have had in matches.
Sistandi, thank you. I don't know what happened because all the time when I'm about to ask, then it switches off. Coach, you have said it a mouthful that you played well, but unfortunately the goals were not forthcoming. Looking at the game coming this weekend, and then looking at the stats between you and Kaizer Chief, I'm sure you'll agree with me that you need more points than Kaizer Chief this coming weekend.
Unfortunately, the derby has got no form. The derby has got no history. Anybody can win the derby. It depends on the day who's more prepared to do well in a match. The mentality, maybe the freshness. But again, I wouldn't go for form. I wouldn't go for history. It's just that the team that is more prepared will win on the day.
May I ask the final three questions, Karang, before you go ahead and ask the question? May I ask that you refrain from asking questions related to the Soweto derby because there is a derby as press conference tomorrow specifically for the Soweto derby. So, Coach, I'll also ask you to refrain from answering questions related to the derby tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ostandi. Coach, what exactly disappointed you this evening? Why couldn't Pirates score? Because there was a couple of opportunities created here and there. We saw Zakele Basa just a couple of inches. The ball looked stuck on his feet. What was the main reason Pirates struggled to put the ball at the back of the net this evening? Thank you.
It's an easy question from the look, but it's a tough question. As a coach, you first want to have box entries final third entries, you want numerical advantage so that it gives you an opportunity. And again, you need somebody to take the decision to score. I thought today we had the numerical advantage, we had the entries in the final third, we had the right movement, maybe the final one of taking the ball and executing and putting it in the net did not happen. At least the processes towards creating chances is not a big worry in that sense, because it becomes a big problem that you don't even enter the final third. But when you play against a low block but still create the number of chances that we created, it's encouraging. We just have to work more, maybe frequently on such situations and repetitions of such, so that players can get the confidence of scoring. But it's not a big problem, yes, from the look, because you're not scoring. But I think it is manageable.
Coach, we saw your goalkeeper coach being sent off there. Can you please share with us what happened there? Thank you.
I don't have all the details, but what I had and what I shared with the officials is that if there were insults that were exchanged between the two coaches, the goalkeeper coach and the head coach of Cape Town City. If that was the case, then give the red card to both of them. Surprisingly, this one gets the red card and the other one doesn't. But I'm used to this about officiating. The lesser said about officiating, the better, because it's not in our control. But if you count the number of decisions that go against our team, you should be the witness. Golden arrows, the hand, the player holds the ball like a goalkeeper, but no decision. I'm just giving you one example. There's plenty like that. So decisions about officials, let's leave it to the officials. We are not in control. Let's try and control what is in our control, which is the players in the field and the outcome.
Thank you once again, Ostandi. Coach, just a general question, and this is based on having followed you from Colorados now to Pirates. You're one of the honest coaches. Coach, I'm looking at the game now. Sundowns are leading, and if they win this one, you might be 18 points or so behind. As an honest man, Coach, do you really genuinely feel that you might catch Sundowns? You've got an opportunity of catching Sundowns this season. Thank you.
Let's control what is in our control. Try and gather as many points as we can. But from the look of things, I think the trophy is in Sundowns' cabinet. It's up to Sundowns to take the trophy out of the cabinet for competition. But from the look of things, realistically, I think the trophy is in their cabinet. But if it's not mathematically like that, anything is still.
Press conference, as well as the recent